All right, good evening, everyone. I'm back once again with Joe Manduke. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing well, Brad. Thank you for having me. It's been a while since we recorded. I'm looking forward to talking about a new film this evening.
Yeah, I think it's been is it been since July? It's been a while, something like that.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife about it. She asked me when was the last movie reviewed. Was it the Japanese
Was
one?
it
Was it
Pulse?
was it Pulse or was it?
Yeah, I
Did
think it
you recommend
was.
some? Was it Cairo?
I think
Yeah.
it
So
was.
this is revenge for that.
Yeah, Revenge of Cairo. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a while. So anyway, we're going to talk about Toad Road, which is a 2012 independent horror psychological drama by Jason Banker. Um, and basic plot line is you've got some young adults, college age, takes place in York, Pennsylvania, which that comes into this. And it's based around an urban legend in York County about a place called Toad Road and the Seven Gates of Hell. You got the two main characters, James and Sarah. And Sarah's kind of a straight-laced person, but meets these people as she's in town for college, it seems to be, and so begins to experiment with drugs, particularly psychedelic drugs, is what this is about. And so through her usage of drugs, coming into contact with this group of friends who are already steeped in the drug culture, she hears about this urban legend about Toad Road, and she becomes, in a way, obsessed with this as a way to reach a maybe a higher mystical or spiritual level. And then it has some horror elements to it. Um, and that's the basic plot line. So it's based around this urban legend about a place called Toad Road. Has a lot to do with drug use, which we'll probably talk about the very prevalent drug use. And the Toad Road's just kind of a vehicle, I think, to talk about this group and what they do or don't do. So that's Toad Road, which just briefly for me, I suggested that we talk about this because I'd never heard of this. I live about 15 minutes from the actual Toad Road.
Oh no.
And so I
Oh,
heard,
no.
yeah, I've never been down it yet, but anyway.
Good.
Uh, I was watching another YouTube channel. A guy does like weird stuff in Pennsylvania history, and he was talking about Toad Road, and he mentioned this film, and he said he really liked it. And so I watched it and watched it with my wife. And then I thought, oh, this would be interesting to talk about. So that's the basics. That's the basic rundown of Toad Road. It follows these, like I said, this group of 20 something or very young people. Um, and I thought one thing, I don't know how you want to do this. We talk about the basic story, but uh, the director himself is from York. I'm from York, and so I think that was something that maybe made me more interested than I normally would be. And
Mhm.
apparently, he recruited these actors and actresses from MySpace, the social media platform that's kind of gone under since then. So the interesting thing is they all kind of are playing themselves. They're using their actual names and they already knew each other, so they're kind of doing the things they would do anyway. So
Ah.
it ends up being very much a documentary in parts. He apparently made a lot of hours of film of them just doing their miscreant drug fueled behavior and then turned it into a movie. That's Toad Road. So
Um, yes. Uh, would you like me to say something, Brad?
yeah, go ahead and say something and then I'll say something back. That's usually how this.
Sure. Well, yeah, that's how it's
Yeah.
supposed to work, I guess. We broke the format, but that's okay. Well, I say what you're going to say because I just wanted to interject something from a marketing standpoint. This is all I want to say first. Toad Road,
Yeah.
great title.
Hmm.
I mean, like it's short, it's catchy, it rhymes, and I guess it has that urban legend myth anyway. But I've been thinking about it a lot, like Toad Road. It just I don't know the cyclical nature of it. Even it's just it's simple, but it really sticks to the mind. That's the first thing I want to say, and then say your thought. I'll say more serious things later.
Okay. Well, I will say this. Yeah, it is so Toad Road, as I said, is an urban kind of, I guess you call it urban legend in York County, which is in Pelham Township. It's this place in the woods. By the way, if you're watching this, don't go back there. It's all private property. It's marked all over the place, so you can't really walk down to it. You're not supposed to. There's some adjacent government-owned land. You can go back there. Um,
Ah.
it seems to be derived from the word tow road, T-O-W, because the Cadorus was a canal, and you would have to tow the canal. I think what happened, the word tow road was corrupted into toad road, and then over time, this the kind of legend, these seven gates of hell grew up. Like you're supposed to, you can see the first gate from the road, and then supposed to go through. And so they are in the film. They don't actually walk down the real toad road because it's private property, but you can. I think the gate they walk past is the actual gate, I believe. Um, so I thought. Let me just say this, and then because I have no idea what you think about this movie. That's why I said, like, we've been doing like actual like Hollywood films, or actually Russian films as well. There's a higher budget.
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna have heard of them for the most part, or in some way or another. This is a very independent movie. I never heard of it. I'm sure you never heard of it. Um,
Nope.
I think I said this to my wife. I'm like, I probably wouldn't even have watched this if it didn't have something to do with where I'm from. So that predisposed me to kind of like pay attention to it. And some of the scenes in there, I'm like, oh, I know where that is. I know where that is. I know where that is. So it's kind of like a hometown thing that uh at least piqued my interest. And then as I'm watching it, I thought, well, I'm surely going to hate this. But there were some aspects of it, to be honest, there's some aspects of it that I liked. I thought I was surprised at some of the cinematography. I thought was well done. Which you don't, I've seen, other, I guess you call it low budget films, independent films, I that didn't rise to that quality. I thought there was actual, you could see shots were mapped out. They were done, some of the shots were done very well. I liked the use of sound, um, ambient sound. There was some clips taken from a band. I believe this band's called Jasper, Texas, if I remember looking that up. But he took some actual clips from that. I did think it, the movie in ways made me anxious and depressed a little bit, like because of what they're doing. They're because of what they're doing in the movie. I'm like, oh, this is a little bit. But I did kind of think that it worked a little bit using like people that already knew each other. Like they're kind of not acting. Um, it, and then um, but before I go on anymore, that's what kind of drew me to it, the fact that it's like a hometown thing. And then my curiosity was piqued, and there were some elements of it I really liked, and then I kind of went along for the ride with it, and I thought to myself, I was like, I wonder what Joe, this might be something interesting to talk about. So if you want to say something, and then yeah.
See, Brad, this I was joking before, but this is revenge for the fact
Hmm.
you didn't like Cairo. I know it is. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I thought it was really interesting because you have suggested some things that I haven't seen before, and I liked the fact that you found something that was really low budget. I think you might even technically call this a Z level film because I'm pretty sure this had like very little money,
Yeah,
like minimal.
I think probably you're
Um,
right.
in which I mean, and that's fine because that's still independent filmmaking. And you have this more close attachment to the curiosity of it, like, oh, this is urban legend, it's local, I'm
Hmm.
from York, so yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
want to think, oh, this, I'm connected to it, I'm going to support people from my town, and I'm York adjacent. I mean, I've driven through there, like I know York a little bit, so yeah, I thought that was cool. Anybody that does anything from Central PA, like, yeah, like I, of course, I mean, I can relate to that a little bit, so that's cool. Now, I'll first off say the positives. I will echo definitely. There's some really good filmmaking in this, and you're right. There was some good use of sound design, ambient noise, and you're right. I don't think all the cinematography was good,
No,
but there were
no.
definitely some shots where you can tell, well, like whoever, I don't know if it was the director or the person, their cinematographer who did the frame some of the shots, they found some gorgeous spots, some gorgeous locations around York, and they made it work. And there are some of them are really artful. Like, okay, like somebody here knows what they're doing, and sometimes that would surprise you. So yes, definitely environmentally, there was some good filmmaking, but also another aspect of filmmaking that I liked was, like you said, the documentary feel. Because
Mm-hmm.
the fact that it was like, okay, they've got a camcorder and they're hanging out with people, that actually worked too. And I was thinking, and you confirmed it, I guess, because I didn't know this. There was a real authenticity to everything I was seeing. And I was thinking, oh, like, are they just good actors? It seemed like this is people drawing from experience, a bunch of people hanging out filming it. And you said that's basically what it is. And so I kind of really liked that. So I liked the authenticity, the pseudo documentary element of it, and I thought there was some good cinematography. Um, for me, I think that's sort of where the positives end, though, because I mean, you're right. I think as I finished the movie, I'm like, okay, this isn't a horror movie in the traditional sense. It is
Mm-mm.
definitely an anti-drug movie, and kind of it's trying to be framed like a tragedy of and in fact, there even some high concept stuff. Like they go into this place, and you're wondering because there's this time skip warping thing where the girl disappears, and the guy comes back, and he has no idea about the sense of time. They say, "I've only been gone a day." No, it's been a week, and the cops are
Mm-hmm.
after you, and it's like, oh, whoa, like, but you don't know whether it is supernatural or it's just the result of somebody died and it was just bad choices relating to drugs. And that seems like a very realistic thing to happen. So I did like that concept, right? There were some really big ideas, and I hate to say this as a kind of a super low budget filmmaker myself, I can relate. This is an example of somebody with really good ideas, and there was some talent there for sure, but they didn't, in my opinion, I don't think they had the money to quite pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even necessarily sure it was a budget issue, because my biggest problem with the movie, Brad, um, isn't even the fact that it was sort of marketed as a horror movie and it wasn't. Like I kind of got past that. The problem is it just kind of ends. Like I would be even I want to say it was like generously I could say it had about half of a movie's plot, but it was almost like a third of a plot. Okay, you're establishing the characters. We're living among them. We see the young guy and the girl, like they're kind of close together. They're going on this bad path, and then oh my, like something bad happens, and whether or not they decide to go supernatural or they make it a spiritual crisis, or it's it's drugs, or it's like oh there's science fiction element, like ooh, or it's just dramatic. Whatever that hook is, whatever that big compelling thing is, he just kind of runs off, goes into hiding, and reminisces about the past, I guess, because I guess maybe that's true to life. There wasn't a resolution, but it felt very unsatisfying. Like, ooh, in my mind, Brad, the movie just got really good, really interesting, and then it ended. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, like it could have been more, even for what they did. I'm like, and that's what angered me the most about it is it felt like it didn't fulfill its potential. And I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe they could have filmed with other people later. And you're right, it ends on a depressing note where he's just like thinking
Yep.
about good times on the boardwalk or something, and that didn't help it for me because the story didn't really resolve.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
That's
agree
my
with
big
you.
negative,
No, I
basically.
agree. No, and you're 100% right about that because I thought it was, I saw, I saw like potential elements in there building up. Like I thought it was kind of a cool angle. He was talking to the therapist or whatever.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
and I'm like,
who was
well,
clearly sitting in somebody's like house or something.
house, yeah, the bull's house. So I was like, okay. And then he's just gone. And then it doesn't,
Yeah.
uh, I know what you mean. And it frustrated me because I expected to hate the movie right away. I was like, I only gave it a shot because it's about
Oh,
Toad Road and the guy said it was good. I'm like, all right, let me take a look. I was looking for something to watch anyway. And I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. Like this is not, I don't hate this. And then as I'm watching it, like I said, it's drawing me in a little bit. And I'm like, okay, this actually has, I see something
something.
developing. Something's developing, embryonic form, and now it's growing, and I'm getting to like they're actually fleshing out the characters a little bit. They're not just like stick figures. And then, oh, now here's the element, the Toad Road, and then I do agree with you a lot on that. That just is like it almost seemed a little bit like I got all this footage I need to use, maybe cut some of that other footage out and like make an ending, make something out of it. It was and I think I understand what the director was doing to a degree because just from I read about this, because I'm like, all right, let's talk about this low budget movie and whatever. He had made another kind of documentary movie that was about like party scene, drug scene, but it just didn't go any. I think he wanted to do something like that, but have it be a story. Um,
Hmm.
I think you got to pick one or the other. I don't know, or like, um,
Um, well, I don't know. I was gonna, it's funny you're saying that. I was kind of thinking I didn't know that. I feel like if he leaned more into the documentary stuff, that almost you could have just done that, interviewed some people and talked about the effects. And you're right, it's almost like he used that to try to do the horror narrative fiction to sell the movie because he wants to get the message out, but he didn't really have enough there or enough actors available. Like a few more scenes. Like you're right, the
yeah,
therapist guy or the dad, like, let's get some more scenes and the flashbacks, and it could have been something. Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Um yeah, I think there were it's like he had like you said, the cinematography was good at points. Like the scariest part of the movie that I actually thought was good horror was when there's that silhouette of the girl looking down, and it's just like the shadow right before
hmm
she kind of disappears,
yeah,
and she reels up kind of slow mo backwards, and then they use that shot later and then show her actually walking off. But like, and they had that quick cut to it, and there were some, and honestly, the part towards the end where he's hiding out in his uncle's place looked like they were the
yeah,
same age. Honestly, we didn't cut close to him because like you're uncle. That was funny. But like when he's just sitting, great frame shot in that old attic, and he's like destroying the room, like, and they're cutting back to flashbacks of the good times, the bad times, what did happen in the road, and like I said, whether or not there was something to it, or it was just he's thinking about, oh man, this girl died and it's my fault. That is stuff that emotionally works.
hmm yeah,
It's haunting, and he's like, the legacy of his decisions are sticking with him, and he's like trapped in this, the space that he's physically in is like a reflection of his mental state, and it's great visually. But and then that's the movie. It's like, I guess thematically it has an ending, but if it was a documentary, it's like we cut to the guy talking about, man, like I ruined this girl's life, and now I went to jail and da da da, and okay, credits, boom, like, don't do
yeah,
drugs, kids. You know what I mean? It's like the
yeah,
documentary would have. It's like he was trying to, the fictional supernatural, the narrative, like I liked some of it, but it was just like, you're right, he sprinkled it in with some cuts, and
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
just like just interview people.
I think he's trying to keep it paranormal. Like, did she disappear? Did she make it to the fifth or sixth grade or whatever it was? She disappeared because you remember she's watching like that documentary about psychedelic use, and they're
Oh yeah.
talking about there's a little clip, and they're
Hmm.
talking about like which I know that topic has come up kind of in pop culture again. Like people, the
Hmm.
psychedelic thing has come up again. Like Joe Rogan's talked about it, different things. And
Uh-huh.
um, so I think that's what he's trying to do is like, did she really like just went into another level on this thing? Because she had that like almost, they went into the cave and she does mushrooms for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And then she has that experience in the cave. And
Hmm.
then I think she says at the one part like something's like following her since that point. Like she's
Mm.
becoming upset. It does say at the one point like she's not going to class, she's not doing her work. She's just like
It's like she
pursuing
encountered a
this.
presence, and it's like
Yeah,
it has stuck with her,
yeah, yeah,
drawing her back to that place. I'll say too. I'm guessing that was probably a local location. I thought that was a great piece of basic horror because they're going into the crevices underneath that little mountain,
yeah,
and for me, that's like a no-no. But I thought that was another great scene that seemed genuine, and you have the kids making fun of each other, and the one kid's like no, and it wasn't. You could tell it was mostly people just ad libbing, and I don't the dialogue wasn't great, but it felt real, like a bunch of
Yeah.
kids with not the best vocabulary, just cursing a lot.
Yeah.
But I like that, and I don't want to get too off topic, but that scene always that scene made me uncomfortable because it reminded me of what I think one of the best horror movies ever made is, which is so scary, and I've only watched it once, never want to watch it again. Is The Descent? You ever seen that one?
No, you told me about. No, I've never seen it.
Oh, oh,
You told
oh
me
man!
about
Like
it.
they went in there, and I'm like, oh man, like please don't have like monsters in there. I was just
Don't
like,
have a
no,
monster in
no,
that
I'm
game. Yeah.
serious because like
No, I know
I've
what you
looked,
mean.
but like literally, that's side note, people. Like to me, that's one of the best horror movies because I was scared. I won't curse, but never one I like because I don't like the idea of being buried under rock and the ground, and then on top of that, we're
Mm-mm.
stuck in there with these horrible monsters. I'm like, no thank you. Like, so
No,
anyway, I was glad she got out. Like when the one
no.
guy said I'm out, like I'm getting out of here, like yeah, like no, you guys do
Yeah.
this down here, like oh you're gonna do drugs and get
Mm-mm.
lost in here, like no kids. So
No.
yeah, good on that kid for leaving.
Yeah, I don't have any desire to do mushrooms. I really don't want to do mushrooms in a cave. Like in that
Yeah.
cave.
Oh.
Yeah, no, no.
Oh,
That's
that was a thing too, by the way. And I was actually talking to Amanda about this because we kind of had a heated discussion about the movie because I was describing it to her. And she's like, these people this sounds horrible. Why are you watching this? And it was just like, well, and the thing I was describing the scene where this was a scene that kind of bothered me. Um, and it's one of the things about the movie that's like it works on one level, but it also kind of is comedic. When they're about to go into Toad Road, right? And she's like, "Oh yeah, let's go in here," and like they say like these things happen, and you'll see and hear stuff, and you lose sense of time. Okay, well we're gonna test it out. Do the dare thing. Even though at this point he's thinking, "No, well let's drop acid before we do it." I'm like, well, how? First of all, how are you gonna validate anything? It's you're asking for trouble. Get lost. So I'm like, yeah, you're so dumb, which I guess is classic horror movie. But I'm like, yeah, I got angry at the people for being
yeah.
so stupid. Like,
No.
yeah, because that's
It
not really
is
what it's
well
about,
even
though.
the
You know,
yeah. Even the character is like, well, yeah, you're going to see and hear things because you're taking acid.
yeah,
Like
he's like, what do you?
it's kind
It's
of
all.
sad too. Just talk, the part where it kind of had a little bit of realness to it on the, I don't know if you remember on the bike ride there, he's talking
Mm,
about kind of getting his act together and maybe going to school and they should take off and get away from that kind of thing.
hmm
And
And
then,
mhm.
and then the next, it's a tragedy.
Well, and that was a good bit of story that I don't know if it was organic or it was a script, but that was a good scene when they're on the bike, and I liked that she was drawing him out of it because she was like she was in school and she was only kind of tangentially around with these people, so maybe she could get away from that element. Um, but I also thought that was realistic, and I liked the subtle note. I was wondering when she said she went to college, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I can go with you." She says, "Oh yeah, go to York with me." I think she goes to York College.
Yeah, that's what I
That's what it
assumed.
sounds like.
Yeah.
So I was like, I thought that was nice. That was pretty cool. Like, oh, York College probably.
Yeah. Hey,
So I like that. I love the scene too, where like
ycp.edu. Yeah, it was a
seeing the
it's
scene where like
a plug for York College.
play.
Yeah.
There's a hey, you know what? Maybe they got their grant because if you can plug in a lot of things, for local stuff, there's a grant out there. But I don't know if they actually got to the limit for that because I've looked into that. But yeah, no, I liked that part. And that was sad. Like I said, there are pockets of things that were good in the movie, but like I said, it gets to the point where it's the inciting incident where it's the most interesting, Brad, and then it just kind of stops. And like they're trying to make it seem like a natural ending, and I'm like, from a plot standpoint, it didn't
Hmm.
fully develop. Like I want to meet more of these people. What happens with the police? What happens? Is he gonna? We're gonna get resolution to this somehow? No, it just no matter what happened, his life's ruined. Her life's ruined. Goodbye.
Yeah. No,
Which
yeah.
if you want to end it that way, that's fine. But we gotta flesh it out more.
Yeah. I think the whole point he has, I'm trying to remember. I watched it and then I watched it again because we were going to talk about it. I think I watched it in August somewhere. But anyway, she kind of, you remember toward the end, she appears to him when he's tearing out that room. He's up in that crappy, bunk in his uncle's,
His uncle's
uh,
bunker.
his uncle's bunker, which he tore up, which is rude. But, oh, a freaking bunker. Yeah, like
It's the stunt desk. You break this one here. This is my real desk.
yeah.
You know, you're breaking everything here. Come on.
He I think he says, I can't remember exactly what he says to her, but it's something like I don't think he knows. He doesn't know if he killed her or not, or if he's responsible or not. He says something like that. I think that's what it's supposed to be. He's tortured. He doesn't know. And you could see when he gets picked up later, he's riding out, he's kind of in shock. He doesn't really know. Then there's that scene, like you said, it's like Ocean City,
Hmm.
that weird, which I kind of liked. I kind of liked the camera
The fisheye.
fisheye that it used, because it was like, and he's trying to get people to knock him out, and it's just like, man, he's it. And she said at that one part, um, like either you once something about the gate, like
It
you,
warps your
yeah,
sense
yeah,
of yourself, and
you
you're
it
almost
warps
stuck with.
you, and then you either like go beyond or you get stuck in that, and that's what hell is. That's when you're in the gate to hell, because he's like stuck in that, which makes it as like a metaphor for drugs makes sense. Like you're stuck in that hell of like
And
drug use and
it was interesting that in line with that, he had those visions of those memories of his friends beating him up,
yeah,
and that was also, I think, a representation of that too.
yeah,
So yeah, I that's like I said, there's some good filmmaking metaphors in there. Like yeah, there's good
no,
stuff in there.
yeah.
See, Brad, I'm mad because I was gonna try to go in and hate on this movie more, and you're making me like it more. Stop it! Don't do
Hey, bro, hey, you
that.
preaching to the choir. I wanted to hate it, and I was watching it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't hate it. I started seeing things. I'm like, and Mary Beth, Mary Beth really liked it. I was kind of
Okay.
surprised. She really took to it. And I'm like, you know what? There's
Huh.
some, yeah. I don't hate it, and I depending on who I'm talking to, I'm like, it's kind of cool, and again, it has that element. It's about York, or it's from York. You got those. I think also too, like back in the day, like I knew people like that. I never had
Mm.
that $100 haircut like the guy has, but like I knew, I knew I knew some of those kind of people, like when I was playing in the band and I was like hanging out. Like I knew those kind of people. And I think there was a little bit of that element. Like I could see like that's exactly what they would say, what they would do. That's how they acted.
Uh,
Um,
well,
so
echoing that again, I mean, I'd say that like it is super low budget, so you'd have to kind of, be aware of that going into it. But I do think that this might speak to a certain circle of people going through that. And I wasn't like, I didn't travel in those kind of circles very much, but I did know a lot of people, and I was around some people where I'm like, yeah, this seems authentic. Like I knew people like this. I had friends or friends of friends that went through some of that stuff. So it did strike home to me a little bit. And I like the fact that, anytime a grassroots like filmmaker tries to say something with what they have around them and what's at their disposal, I appreciate that. um and I also think that even though there is power, and I think there is an unintentional camp, like
mhm.
and the weird thing is sometimes it's the thing that's campy is also maybe genuine. Like one last little dig at the movie when he's on the run and going out into hiding. You know how that one guy is like his one guy that's connecting him. He just
Yeah.
randomly shows up. And he's like, "Hey, what's been going on with you?" And he's like,
Oh
"Man, what
yeah.
have you done? Like, what are you gonna do, man?" And he's all like really invested, right? He's like, "I don't know." And they have this really intense conversation. And he's like, next thing, "Oh well, whatever. Let's have some cigarettes." And then just completely like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Peace out, dude. Like
He's out.
what? Like that. And as stupid as that seemed in the
Yeah.
scene, I'm like, there probably are people like that. Like, oh
No,
yeah,
that's
you
a hundred.
messed up.
That's 100%. There's people like that, and that
Just like
even right before that, like they show up at the uncle's and they're shooting the gun. Remember, he's like looking at the horses, and he's like, "Yo, that would break out and f you up." Like, what are you
like
talking
like
about? The
like
horse
why are
will
we
f
what
you
are,
up. I'm like,
what are
what
we
are you
talking about right now? Like there's
Where's your
bigger.
girlfriend? Where's your
Yeah,
yeah,
like oh,
yeah.
they're just hanging out. Like oh yeah, didn't your
It's
girlfriend
kind of
like
funny. Yeah.
disappear? Like it's like almost has
Uh,
some unintentional like offbeat comedy kind of like.
it is funny. I didn't mention too. I don't know if I just because I looked up some information about it. Maybe I should have said at the beginning, in some kind of bitter, like tragic irony, the girl that played Sarah, the main girl, she OD'd right after this
Oh, I
and
did.
died. So yeah, that's kind of spooky. Like that there's a movie about drugs and then it makes sense. Like she did pass away shortly after this.
You know what? I did look that up and then I forgot. That's true. So
Hmm.
yeah, that
So she really did disappear into that kind of adds a
well, there's some truth to it then. Like the
yeah.
movie, it's got some it's the documentary stuff. It's this the main character was going through that. Like, it was more true to life. The line between documentary and fiction, It's like Coven, American movie, like it's just
Oh
funny.
yeah. Oh no way, man. Cool. Yeah.
Well, it's my film Coven,
Cool. Isn't it
I
pronounced
just
coven? Oh wait, man.
Coven,
That sounds
Coven,
too
no,
much like oven. He's like, no, that sounds too
no, no,
much
it's
like
Coven.
Coven, dude.
Oh man, no, that
Yeah,
that was good
buddy.
too. That was a good
Yeah,
film.
good.
I wish they made more stuff about him. But yeah, man, I can't really say that it's like great or anything, but there's good stuff. I feel like it's if you like this sort of thing, give it a shot. But it would speak to a certain audience for sure.
No, yeah, yeah. I thought it's not definitely not for everyone. But I thought I thought there were a lot of I thought there were a lot of elements to like, but maybe like you said, it wasn't the whole thing wasn't brought together into the finished. Like you had all the elements for a good cake, but maybe it wasn't mixed correctly or baked right. It's
Mhm.
missing a little bit, but again,
Good analogy.
yeah. But again, yeah. Thank you. So, in
But sometimes a cake that's not fully cooked can taste sweet. Eh?
is that Confucius? Yeah. I don't know what that
Sure,
means.
sure. I'll
Yeah.
take credit for it.
Yeah.
Joe Manduke says. I don't know.
A man do say, yeah, don't go in cave and drop
don't
shroom.
don't don't
Eat shroom in
don't do
cave. I like how they're sitting in the cave breaking balls and it's like this.
like, what do you mean? Why do you always come out with this if you're not going to do anything? I don't have to do anything.
No.
I don't. I can just. I can have a good time without getting
Yeah.
all screwed up like you
He's
guys.
that's
Like,
funny. I laughed because that's exactly right. Imagine you're like, can we just one time hang out in the cave?
why do you guys always have to? Can we just hang out in the cave? Do we have to like
We can
always
do
do
drugs.
something?
Yeah.
That's the best character in the movie. This poor kid. Like,
Yeah.
what I don't know. It's just. Oh man. And she was like, we should go after him. Like, who cares about him? Like, look, people, that's why you gotta consider your decisions and who you're around, man. It's just it
100%.
was kind of funny though. What if
Yeah.
it was like can you imagine it was like young Tony Soprano's friends? Hey, why you always gotta be doing
They got tracksuits on. Hey,
they're jogging into the cave.
yeah.
Hey, we're gonna go see the cave at Toll
Yeah.
Road.
That cave, it's a good
It's pretty
cave.
good. It's pretty good cave.
I
Cave's good.
forget
It's
what
pretty
the
good.
freaking cave.
Give me the percentage out of the cave, will you?
Get a
It's
percentage
my
on the
part of my
cave.
territory.
Yeah.
Junior,
Freaking
stop, stop,
beansies in the
Junior.
cave.
And Junior's like, Uncle June, I told you not to sell shrooms in those caves, okay? Make it part of your route. We agreed on this.
Junior's dropping acid.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
That's Jersey, not York, but
so,
um,
oh my god, I was gonna say a surprise. Anyway, let that go. Yeah. I like when Bobby would like eat the whole. Remember the whole thing? Like Junior was looking for what was it, and he like ate the whole
you, ate,
tray.
you ate the whole thing. You weren't gonna eat it. I was saving it. He ate the whole. No, when I love when Tony. Oh, this is that we gotta go. We're going off the rails. But yeah, when Tony comes in, who stole my? I was looking forward to that Mugai pan all day.
Oh yeah, the Mukukai fan or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever it was like I forget what was it like. Oh man,
No, I
someone
know what
tell
you
me.
mean.
It was like pad thai or whatever.
Yeah.
Look for it. He was all sad, like he's been so stressed, and somebody.
Yeah, but that's so
Anyway,
relatable because I can relate. Like you're looking forward to something, you got crap,
and
you
it's
got to do all this other junk, and then you're looking forward to that food, and then someone eats it.
that is true. At the end of a long day, like I just want my little bit of Chinese food or whatever it is, and Bobby Bacala eats. Oh, anyway, the point is, Sopranos, Toad Road, relatable characters. That authenticity helps. Good filmmaking, good storytelling. Whew.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know anything else we could say about it. I think it's good.
I
Toad
think
Road,
it's a
not
good. I
bad.
think it's a good place to leave it, and something different, little change up. Hey, by the way, I don't know if you want to say it. You're gonna watch Halloween 3.
Yeah. If we can do it in time, I would say for the next podcast, I told Brad I want to watch Halloween 3 again. I'm trying to get Amanda to watch it because she kind of liked the first two, but Halloween 3 is kind of like the black sheep, so to speak, because it's very different. They were trying to go a different direction, but it's kind of become a cult classic. So I want to check it out again. Yeah, maybe Halloween 3 if we can upload it before the end of the month. That'd be great.
Yeah, I've never seen it, so never seen Halloween
Oh
3.
yeah, great.
Yeah,
Be
so
fresh.
sounds good. All right, Joe. Thanks for that. That has been Toad Road 2012. Jason Banker. You can check it out on YouTube for free, so you're not spending any money if you do want to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I mean, all in all, that's it. So, all right, Joe. Thanks. Have a nice night.
See you, Brad. See you, everybody.
See you.